Okay, and there we are. So, hey guys, welcome back again. We are going to do more material design in XAML tonight. My goal tonight is to start in on the MahApps updates because it's been very apparent that us lagging behind in support for that is causing some grief. So, my hope is that that won't take the whole time, but we'll see how it goes. I do apologize for my tardiness and not necessarily getting to everything. I've been trying to be as active as possible, but I've been teaching at a local university, and so it's been consuming more time this quarter than it otherwise might have. So, with that said, we are going to struggle through MahApps because I do not know MahApps very well, despite the fact that this library integrates with it, and despite the fact that I use it on several projects where I work. So, with that said, I cannot claim to know it very well, and I'm sort of anxious to dive in and look at the 2.0 changes that are coming, and hopefully get our integration library updated to it. So, with that said, let's flip over here. Okay, so I have just blindly downloaded the latest MahApps source code from their development branch. So I just pulled it down, grabbed the latest stuff, and we're going to start kind of poking through this. As far as I understand it, most of the changes that are breaking us have come from the fact that they've standardized on their brush names, which is great. I actually kind of like the way they've organized it with a dot structure, and just to try to get everything in a semblance to where you can kind of guess what the names are going to be. I don't know if something like that would necessarily work as well in this library, since we're sort of somewhat coupled to the way material design names things. But I'm not opposed to that. So if people have strong opinions, I'd love to see an issue open and discuss it. So theme, light, dark, accent colors. The demo app works just fine. So the real question then is, given all of this stuff, we've got all of this, the dialogue stuff, the window stuff, cool window with glow, so you can kind of see this little glowy effect around the edge. Cool, 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 interop. Ooh, hot reload available. Need to play with that and see what that's all about. And cool. So this seems to be up and working. So I think the next step is I'm just going to pull in the updated package on our library and go to town on it and just see what breaks. So for those, no Visual Studio, down. So for those of you unfamiliar with it, inside of the material design demos folder, we've got a couple demo apps. The basic material design demo app, which gets set up and bundled and zipped up every time we do a release. And then we've got this MahApps Draggables demo. This is sort of multiple libraries buckled into one. So it's showing the MahApps integration as well as the Draggables library integration. If anybody is interested, I would love to pull in the Show Me the XAML stuff that we have in the other demo so that you can have nice little clickable links to see the corresponding stuff. Okay, so this isn't, not a whole lot here. Buttons, switches, sliders, numeric up down, data grid stuff, plus minuses. That's broken. That's the wrong style. Okay, we'll have to look at that. But I'm actually not entirely sure what this thing is running under. So it's important to note that for this, this is going to end up being all of the preview package stuff. So this new spec that we're going to update here is going to be preview stuff, and so this MahApps 1.6 version is going to end up being 2.0 preview stuff. So just be aware of that. So let's go back over here, packet dependencies. So you get MahApps Metro. I think what we need to do here is just update you to the latest stuff. Yeah, let's just do that. And I don't recall the exact version, so let's just go out and we will explore NuGet and find out what the version number is. So NuGet.org. We will see what is going on out here. So MahApps. So 2.0. 7 days ago. Okay. Boom. And now I believe if I simply let's see here. Let's see. CD not that one, that one. And I believe it's not packet. Is it restore? Install because we grabbed the latest one. I always forget these commands. I believe a build would have actually kicked it off as well, but I just want to make sure that I actually see the MahApps stuff pull in. Apologize. That cold that I was fighting last week is not quite gone, and I am still fighting a bit of a cough. So, MahApps Metro, great. Pulled in the latest. Sweet. Okay, so now with that well in hand, let's fire this up and see what happens. Because my goal is to be able to have preview packages for this guy kicked out the door so that people who are using the MahApps stuff can start trying it and telling me what it is. This will obviously be a preview release because it's going to be dependent upon their preview releases. So we'll just see how that goes. But we'll fire up this demo and then we will start hopefully figuring out where all of the problems are. So we know there's at least the combo box on the data grid that we need to address. So that unfortunately looks like it's working. That's too easy. That's too easy. This might be a lot easier than I thought. Okay then. This might be really, really easy. Alternate style, light, dark. Cool. Okay, so let's change primary to pink. Accent to teal, just so that it's really, really obvious. Well, let's pick something that's very different than what we were before. How about orange? And then if I go back over here, I should see some number of changes. And these guys appear to have updated correctly. Sweet! This is going to be really easy if this is all it takes. Still have this guy to deal with, and still have that guy to deal with. So none of these guys are actually being styled out correctly. So we just got to deal with the data grid, and I think a new spec, and we'll see if it works. Because it would be nice to be able to have the MahApps stuff back in and going. So let's take a look. Okay, data grid and tab item, data grid here, data grid checkbox column. Okay, so this is probably problem one. So what is the namespace? So inside of the material design library, we have our own data grid combo box column. So I'm expecting something, you know, MDIX data grid combo box column. Let's see here. That one. So specifically add in that, and that will probably address that. It is interesting that I don't know why this guy didn't automatically pick up the theme for the checkbox column or the data grid text column. Let's check the app.xaml and see how this guy is set up. So this is the MahApps integration stuff, and in the MahApps integration library, let's see, themes. Where is the controls? What? No, not that one. Defaults. That's what I'm looking for. Defaults, defaults, defaults. So this guy just references all of those and brings those in. None of those should be overriding. Do you have... Let's see. Material design theme defaults. And then ours and the MahApps bundled theme. So, what is going on here? Because this guy here derives from the base bundle theme, which is our new resource dictionary guy. Great, great, great. Okay, so that builds it up, grabs the theme manager, theme changing stuff, more themey stuff. Great, great, great. Now the question is where, I'm less concerned with this at the moment because that's just the Draggables library. So the question is why, let's fire this guy up and grab Snoop and take a look. Because I do not understand why it did not pick up the automatic theme from this. So the material design themes defaults dictionary, just to walk people through this real quick. This guy here, so if we go into themes and grab the defaults, so you notice this guy brings in a whole bunch of stuff, but more importantly, he sets up an implicit style on things like data grid cell, combo, row, etc., etc., etc. And these implicit styles are what should be giving the theme, the material design theme, to the data grid. But clearly, something is not working. So now we're working. So as soon as you pull in the theme for the, or I should say, once you use the material design combo box column, at that point then you pick up the nice material design themed combo box, which works as you would expect, which is great. Okay, so from there, let's figure out this checkbox column. What is going on there? And let's just take just to make sure I'm not crazy, because in our normal demo app underneath grids, I believe we have a data grid very similar to this. Data grid checkbox column. Ooh. Element style. Oh, interesting. I wonder if this is the kicker of what's needed. Maybe this is just a matter of making sure that we copy code correctly. Okay, let's go down here. Something like that. And close quote and save. And really love it if that just magically worked. But let's pick this guy up. I'm also not 100% confident. I think this is probably failing to resolve because I think we have to bring in the resource dictionary, similar to how this guy brings it in here. So I think this is also going to be required. Let's say user control, so I can just grab this whole block here. We're going to give this one more try and just make sure that it's not something weird from edit and continues, because some of these styles... There go. Now the checkbox is working. Great. Let's take a look at the text box. Material design, text column. Ooh, we should actually probably switch it over to this one. Material, why do we have this and not, because one of the breaking changes was this data grid combo box column. Material data grid. I'm wondering, maybe we just introduce a breaking change real quick. Data grid, because there's all, like the word material is not adding much to this here. So let's see here. System Windows controls. Let's just derive. System Windows controls. What do you? Oh, you're unhappy because I'm debugging. Fine. Be unhappy for a minute. And spelling counts, at least most of the time. Okay, so derive from the data grid the WPF one, and then I think we're going to drop the word material off of this because this will be at least consistent with what we did for the combo box column. So let's fix this guy here. Jump me up here. Data grid combo box column. There. So that's going to cause only a couple breaks. Clean up that trailing white space. Clean up this white space here. Might as well clean it up while we're in here. General Boy Scout rule. Always leave the code cleaner than you found it. Okay, so back over to here then, because this is going to change this up. So that goes away. That goes away. That goes away. Because right now we have the opportunity with this 3.0 release to introduce breaking changes. And so I kind of like being able to bring in the breaking changes now while I can. It seems to make the most sense. But we're going to get this guy cleaned up as well. Also, if people have questions, I'm going to just carry on my merry way and keep working through the bugs in this MahApps stuff, but I am also always happy to deviate and change stuff up. So for anybody who's jumping in late, right now we are working on the material design in XAML library and getting the MahApps integration working. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, so there is a for anybody who wants to get an Xbox Live gift card and has some time between now and Wednesday, there is a Xamarin Forms challenge. So they do these every so often, and the Xamarin team is largely just looking to get feedback from people. So in this case, it's a Xamarin Forms app and an Azure function. So it does assume that you have a free Azure account or an MSDN subscription or somewhere where you can publish an Azure function. But rather than the other challenges where in the past it's been, hey, work through this feature and give us feedback, it's really just walk through this tutorial, deploy the stuff out so that you understand how to build a mobile app and have it call out to Azure to do some work. And so it's really just walk through all of it and get it deployed. So links in the chat if anybody wants to do it. I think they said it's like the first 1,000 people get an Xbox Live gift card, and then they're going to draw some names, I forget how many, for some Surface earbuds. So if you've got, I don't know, I'd probably say give yourself 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the state of your machine. If you have to install the Xamarin toolchain, it'll take a little longer. But then it really is a pretty simple thing to just work through and do so that you can see how all that stuff plugs together. Data grid text column. I'm not distracted at all. Okay, let's see here. So this now means that, let's see, data grid text column. Now we just prefix it with the material design namespace, and this guy should magically start working, I believe. And actually, so this one I'm noticing there's a particular, there's some editing element styles being applied to this. And I'm kind of hoping that there's a default style being applied to this data grade text column already. I'd really like it if I didn't have to explicitly declare this. But if I remember right, yeah, decompile please. The text columns I don't believe derive from framework elements, so I don't think you can set implicit styles on them. But I could be wrong, so let's just double check that real quick. Data grid column, yep. Keep going. They do have, I mean, they're bindable, so they derive from, derived directly from dependency objects, so no framework elements at play at all, which is very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Okay. Well, let's take a look and see how this goes, because if this, do you give me a nice text box? No, you don't. Darn it. Well. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, we'll bring it over. So this comes across like this, and this should just magically work. There, solution to every cough. More Mountain Dew. Let's see where this goes. So if we get this guy done, I'm going to push out the NuGet package, and we'll have a brief look at pipelines to see how that is set up, because I haven't actually pushed out this MahApps library. There we go. So it's got the pop-up text box style with the little underline and whatnot. So that looks like it's working rather nicely. The vertical alignment on these is annoying me. I'm trying to decide if I adjust it now or not. Isn't there a... I don't really want to have to dive all the way in. Don't really want to have to dive all the way into the cell editing styles. Nah, we'll leave it for now. Okay, this seems a little too easy. I was expecting more breakages, but I do want to get this going. So let's just double check a couple things really quick. So this guy here, this extension method, this set MahApps, this is where all of the magic happens, and I'm wondering, this can't be right. I think we're falling into the accidental case here, because these guys should be failing due to their brushes. Okay, so let's jump back over here. I could have sworn that all of these brushes were swapped out and done differently now, and now I have a hard time believing that my stuff is working as well as I think it is. So let's just take a quick look at this. Yeah, see, I'm expecting things like this. MahApps brushes, flat button, background. Why are you able to work? You are confusing me. You are confusing me. I like that my app is working. I don't know why it's working. Let me double check my dependencies. That's why it's working. Aha! You cheater. Despite the fact that I directly told you this. Okay. Packet. Restore. Come on, because I saw you downloading MahApps 2.0. You should have brought this in place. Let's see, WPF packets, MahApps Metro. So what is is different about, why am I confused on this? Because this guy here should have picked up the same package reference. Yeah, because you should be working. Which one are you squawking about? You're just lying to me, though that reference is also wrong. Okay, so let's well, before we get too carried away and do something aggressive like get clean, let's go through and get this stuff at least committed for the moment, and then see where that takes us. Okay, so let's see. Create branch, fix MahApps. So we'll get something there. Take current changes. We could just stash, but I don't trust myself that much. And that change there. Let's see what the packet lock file did. So that pulled that in. Okay. I don't see any problems here. Let's see, that's fine. That's just dependencies on file system, data contracts, handles, loader, cryptography, bunch of Microsoft stuff updated. Great, 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 great. Okay, so mixing MahApps integration. Okay, so commit changes. Great, so there's that, and let's just, when in doubt, I'm not 100% confident that the problem isn't Visual Studio not letting go of the references. So get clean DFX. Again, for those people who've watched my stream back on the Git stuff, this is an abusive command. This will blow away everything in your directory that's not under source control. So be careful and make sure you've got your stuff committed before you run it, because it is very, very abusive. Cool. Okay. Back to material design library. And then we just need to figure out what happened and why my brushes work, because it is bothering me that they work. I sort of would prefer failure, but it was good that we got the data grid stuff cleaned up and working. Again, if anybody wants to go through and add the show me the XAML stuff the same way that's in the other demo app, I would appreciate it. I don't know if I'm going to have time to go through and do it. Okay, so key thing here, all of these dependencies need to be resolved. So let's recompile and see what comes of this. So I figure if we get the MahApps stuff published where people can play with it, the 3.0 release is getting down to where there's just some of the harder, more problematic bugs. And so I think getting those fixed, we'll see how many of those I get a chance to snipe off. I've got a reasonable backlog of stuff that I'm supposed to be working on. Go, Visual Studio, go. You can restore all the things. I promise. I promise. You can find them all. You can download them and install them, because I know there's only a couple. So let's go find all of the stuff. Packet run. Go, packet, go. Let's see. Source control, build. I fully expect this to fail. At a minimum, the show me the XAML stuff should fail it out. But that one is just a rebuild and away you go. .NET package, asset file missing, NuGet package restore, blah, blah, blah. Come on. There we go. MahApps Metro. That's what we're looking for. 2.0, baby. And I'm sort of trying to decide how to release this NuGet package. Do I set a minimum version to a preview release? Not entirely sure I like that. But if I leave it at 1.6.5 or 1.6 star, whatever is the minimum release, it means people who install it in .NET Framework by default with the old packages config, it defaults to lowest, and so they're going to be broken. I suppose if you're how likely is it that somebody's going to install a preview version of my NuGet package and not update to the preview version of MahApps? I wonder how likely of a use case that is. Okay, demo app, MahApps. Let's see here. Let's make you the startup project because we need that. Double check my dependencies because I want to see MahApps 2.0. Great. Launch. Now we should see some brushes fail. Oh, hey, Megan. So just curious, is this project supposed to be a huge library of different WPF controls and style examples to use in external projects? So the answer is yes. So, and let me, for anybody who's just sort of curious at it, let me just give a kind of a brief overview. So there's two apps at play that we're working with. So I run a library called Material Design in XAML. So I am not the original author. I am just the current maintainer because the original author didn't have a lot of time to work on it, and I thought it was fun, and so I said, sure, why not? So the whole idea here is it's supposed to bring Google's Material Design, so you can think of like the Android look and feel, and let you write WPF apps with that look and feel, and it's designed to be fairly simple. The Getting Started guide under the wiki will show you what's necessary. It's install a NuGet package and then a few changes to your app.xaml to get up and running. So that is this one. So there's, depending on what version you have, the 2.6.0, you can technically do this bundled theme stuff in the 2.6.0, but it will give you a design time warning. Your app will still work. It's just the way this was set up doesn't play nice, but then you can have nice theming. So a couple lines of code in your app.xaml and away you go. And you get all of the pretty styles and themes. So that's the Material Design in XAML toolkit. There's another library called MahApps Metro, or MahApps as most people will reference it. It was initially set up, the Metro is, I believe, an old holdover name from Windows 8 apps when they first launched. It was called Metro Theme. But MahApps was designed to give WPF apps a lot more control over your window, and was also another theming library. The thing is, there's a lot of overlap between these two libraries in that they both offer you styles and extra controls that you can use in WPF apps. But whereas the Material Design in XAML library is very opinionated about this needs to adhere to Google's Material Design, MahApps takes a different route and goes more with the Metro look and feel. But they also go to the effort of adding a bunch of windowing controls and extra functionality that I don't think is ever going to make it into the Material Design library. So sometimes people want to mix and match because they want all of the fancy stuff that MahApps offers, but then they also want the Material Design theme for stuff. And so there's an integration library that goes kind of between those so that you can mix and match and use whichever one makes sense. So let me copy. I know how to copy and paste. So there's the material design theme repository, and here's the MahApps theme one. So if you check my videos on YouTube, you'll notice that there's actually quite a few of them that go over the material design library, largely because I really like WPF. I really like XAML, and I think it's awesome. And so I spend a non-insignificant amount of time working on this library because I think it is cool and fun. So yeah, so there's that. Let's see. So I think we just rebuild here because those are not quite the errors I expected, but I also didn't expect the initial build to work. So we're going to kick this off one more time and just see, because I think that's just a clean rebuild. Yeah, and if you plan on playing with it, you may see a WPF assignment in the future that leverages one and or both of these. So preview head start. Because there will be so the class that I'm teaching at the university, there is a portion of it that will be covering WPF, because as part of the class we have to teach event-driven programming. So the easiest way to do that is with a GUI framework, and because I love WPF, WPF it is. Come on, Visual Studio. Go, 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 go. I know I told you to rebuild everything, but I trust you can figure it out. I trust you can figure it out. So now that we actually have the 2.0 stuff pulled in, I'm fully anticipating that that we should have binding fails. Okay, so this guy is still breaking. Event trigger does not exist in the XAML namespace. One, why are we using event triggers in the first place? Event triggers are bad. Oh, that's why. Because I updated the interactions library. Ooh. Okay, so what do we got going on here? So command, close command. Wow. Okay, so let's nest some of this a little bit more, because this is hard to look at. So event name click. We're using, wait, what? Event trigger, close flyout action. So we've, oh, I see, because this is leveraging the close flyout. Ah, I gotcha. I gotcha. I was trying to figure out why the heck this was using the action rather than just a straight up command on a button. And there's the explanation right there, because of this guy. Great. So that's not quite what we wanted. So basically the short version is the interactivity library no play nice with event triggers. Verify that you are not. Why? So I must be stupid, but is there a reason I can't just do that? Let's see. Trigger action collection. Event name. I believe it's button.click. Event trigger. Oh, this is routed event, isn't it? Button.click. I guess I'm just curious where this guy gets used. Let's go back over to the MahApps library. I'm sure they've got an example in here somewhere. Oh, that's... Turns out if you only search in the current project, you only get results from the current project. So let's go entire solution real quick. because I'm curious how they use this. So basically, this is a copy and paste from theirs. Interesting. So then the question becomes, how or what are you using for let's go look real quick, because I don't understand what this guy is using for his version, which must not be latest. So we might have to roll that library back. Let's go back. MahApps Metro. Okay, so this is actually one of the few things that's really great about Packet, is when I want to understand what version they're using, I don't have to go hunting all over their repository to find the references or figure out which project's referencing it. It's just I can go look at their Packet dependencies and be done, which is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, close, go away. So they aren't. So hold on here. Wait, am I seriously? Oh, no, this isn't my code. Okay. Whew. I was like, what the heck? Why am I targeting so many frameworks? Right. Back to here. .NET Core App packages. One of you guys is not like the others, and somebody is bringing in. No. Where's the interactivity one? Somebody is bringing in this reference, and I don't know where. It's not there. Okay, so let's check it up at a higher level. Not there. Not there. So there is a new interactivity NuGet package. I'm just a little baffled as to. There's the guy we're looking for. I bet you that's the difference. I bet you it's changed namespace. Yeah, there's the subtle difference. Okay, so back to get cracking. And this guy here, discard all changes. Let's go back. So I believe the issue is that namespace include. There. Less unhappiness, more happiness. Let's see. That guy there. And a little less concerned with that. Little less concerned with that. So now build. Okay, that should hopefully address that. So I updated the library, I just didn't update the usages of it. So lesson learned. When you update your library, your namespace includes should be updated to match. Otherwise you end up scratching your head for a little while, being confused. Okay, are we good to go now? You done yelling at me for stuff? I think it's happy. I'm happier. Okay. That's more like it. Cannot locate theme. So we've got a reference to styles, accents, base light, and that is no longer the case. So let's jump over real quick and look at their demo app. What is the new way of configuring? So they've got controls and fonts underneath styles, which I believe matches controls and fonts underneath styles. We pulled in colors. They do not. Styles, themes, light blue. Okay, let's grab it. So this guy here, styles, themes, light blue. So apparently that guy doesn't need to exist. I'm somewhat curious if we actually need this to exist. Only because, in theory, once we get this bundled theme working appropriately with their style keys, this guy should probably be adding everything that's here. Don't know that for a fact, but we'll find out shortly. So this one may become optional, which would make this a little bit nicer to work with. Because having to remember all of these and copy all these is a pain in the neck. For reference, I can't remember them all, so I end up coming back and just grabbing them. So let's see. Bundled themes, secondary color. So this is actually coming from here now. Or I guess it was coming from here the whole time, and I was just too stupid to notice. So where is this? Well, let's just grab it, I guess, and hijack it here, because I believe this is where it's breaking. Because it applies the theme. So the theme that comes in. So this iTheme object is new in version 2.6.0. It basically is just a Poco with all of the material design brushes in them. So nothing fancy. And this guy comes in here, calls set theme. This guy comes in here, grabs it, and basically just does a whole bunch of brush setters. Because reasons. There's a fancy new thing in Visual Studio 2017 that's so this little green arrow. If you hover near the edge of your code, click, run to point. Done. Let's see. So it adds the theme manager, grabs the old theme, pops an event, which in this case doesn't do much here. Goes through here. Base theme is set to inherit. Great, fine. Set MahApps. And this is where it's going to break. Because this is where it was hunting for the existing MahApps resource theme library. Didn't find it. Goes hunting because before you used to set base light or base dark. It goes to create this, goes to create a resource dictionary, and goes boom. Okay. So that at least makes sense why it's crashing. So we have a problem here in that before we had light and dark theme stuff and made assumptions on it. And those are no longer true. So let's go here. So they've got a theme template, which this is actually probably going to be gold because this is basically all of their brushes. Yeah, so these guys, because you can see each of these that come through, this generates up the theme. Great. So this is, oh, interesting. So they no longer have a light and a dark, or I should say they no longer have a light theme and a dark theme. They've separated them out based upon these guys. So, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Well then, that is less than convenient. because that means that, at least for this purpose, this is completely worthless. So set MahApps base theme. There is no concept of base theme anymore, so this becomes one easy method to port. I do it with my delete key. Okay, so that goes away because that's no longer meaningful. Because there is a bit of an assumption that if you're using this material design library with MahApps, you're accepting the material design theming. And basically, you're just looking to theme MahApps to look like material design. You're taking them for functionality, not for theming. Sure. Step over. Oh, look at that. Should launch now. Should at least launch. And I'm guessing things are not going to look right. Well, actually, that's a lie, because cannot find resource named. Yeah, so it's missing some themes and it loaded some themes. Okay. Okay, so they don't have the concept of accent anymore, or at least they've bundled it all together. So yeah, so they have bundled. This is interesting. So they have bundled the accent colors and the primary colors all into a single theme dictionary itself that they auto-generate from a given template and some generator parameters. So these are all the colors that go in, and then they generate the appropriate brushes. So let's see. So there's light, dark, and then this basically just does light amber, dark amber, generate all of the things out. Okay, well that makes it at least easy. I know where to look. Makes it a little more of a pain in the neck for figuring out how to implement this. Because now we don't really have this concept as much. Well, I guess we kind of do. We kind of do. So each of these things, let's just pick on one. MahApps black. So it generates the colors. Okay, so this is just going to be. This feels like a regex problem. I'm wondering if I can use this. I'm wondering if I can use this to auto-generate my code. That's a lot of lines of code to have to type, and I'm incredibly lazy. But the laziest developer always finds the easiest way to do things. Mostly due to being lazy. So I'm trying to decide if it's worth coding all these in, or at minimum just extracting all these values out. Because ultimately we're going to end up having to duplicate what this generator does. And I'm wondering if it makes sense to try and leverage this. Specifically leverage this theme template. Wondering. Because if we can embed these guys in here, this guy just then magically starts working. I'm wondering if we can repurpose this. because it would be really great to just download this and have it run and generate all of the code that we need for this. Because Packet has a wonderful feature where it can pull down arbitrary files from another Git repo, so that we can then use it in ours. That's ultimately how some of like the control EX stuff, like the pop-up EX, are getting included in the library, is they're just being file linked in via Packet, pulling them down rather than having to reference an entire NuGet package. And I'm wondering if that makes the most sense here, because I have to kind of duplicate a little bit. I'm a little less concerned with doing this. I'm mostly concerned with pulling in these parameters and getting these values right, because this is where I see changes occurring. I'm thinking this might become a PowerShell script here pretty quick. Default values, base color scheme, because the difference is rather than wanting to generate XAML, I want to take in this file as an input and generate out code for this. But does it really make sense? I don't actually need these brush colors, because what's going to happen is I'm going to take the material design colors and put them in their place and potentially reuse some of these. Yeah, let's just hard code. Let's just hard code, because I don't see us making a lot of use. So I'm going to just dock these guys to the side for the moment, and we're just going to start plowing through this. So let's undo. So this guy here is going to become very different. So let's see, switch on base theme, which is just an enum for basically light and dark. Case base theme light. Case base theme dark. Okay, and I think what we need is void set color. So this is very similar to this set brush that we have here. Where is this class living? Okay, so I think I'm just going to plow through this and go so I think we're just going to regex this in once we figure out. So for example, the very first line in here underneath light looks like this, right? So I'm pretty sure what we want to do is do something like set color, give it a key, and then color, let's see, from ARGB, where this is going to be 0xFF, A 0x00, 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 right? So we want something like that. We want this thing to take a string key and a color, and then this does resource dictionary key color, right? And this isn't buying us a lot aside from what we're about to do next. Okay, so this is basically what we want. What are you squawking about? That's basically what we want. So let's have some fun. So I'm going to go over here, do this. So this is all the light stuff. Put a couple blank lines in. This is all the dark stuff. Right? Okay, so usually when I'm faced with something like this, my first instinct is to regex the problem away. Let's make this, where's my zoom? You don't have zoom. Zoom in. Wow, that is, oh, control equals, my mistake. I was not using the right command. Okay, so control F to get this guy up, and enable awesome mode. So we're going to go from start of line, white space, any number of characters, replace it with empty string, replace all. Okay, so we got everything indented. So again, remember we're looking to call set color with key. So let's go ahead and do that. So the next thing we need to do is match on quotes. And actually, what we could probably do is, let's do a color. We'll just do numbered capture group. So this will be the set of all characters that are not equal to colon. So we're just going to grab it all up there. Set one or more, right? We'll then match on the colon. We will then white space, any number of repetitions, picks up that. We'll grab the quote and the pound. And why did I lose this one down here? Quote pound. Oh, because this drops here. We'll come back to you in a minute. Let's see. And then we're going to do name capture group, and this is going to match 0 through 9, A through F, exactly 2 repetitions. All right, so that's going to, and then we're going to duplicate this over, let's see, A, R, G, B. Right? And then just for completeness sake, we're going to grab quote, boom, just so we can clear out the line. Okay, we're then going to replace this. Hold up, something's amiss. I expected these ones to match and they didn't. Let's see here. So, the alpha is optional. So let's go back to the beginning. So this capture group is optional. Okay, we've got a regex that looks like it's matching most of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, the comma at the end will also make optional. Boom. So just doing a quick scan to make sure. We've got these couple disabled ones that I'm just going to do by hand. It's not worth getting anything fancy for. So we're going to replace it with set color, replacement group 1. So capture group 0 is the entire match. $ number gives you the capture group inside of the first set of parentheses. So this guy here where we grab the name, that will include the quotation marks because it was everything up to until we hit the colon. So we'll do that. And then let's jump back here. What was the code that we needed? Color from ARGB, right? So we're going to do this. Color from ARGB. This is going to be $2. Let's see, it's actually going to be 0x $2. This one will be 0x $3, 0x $4, 0x $5, right? Replace all. Okay, so this gets us not quite what I expected. So the set color did not pick up everything. So here's the wonderful part. Undo still works. Let's see. So this guy here. Oh, think... Hey, what's going on in Visual Studio Code? Did you lose your mind? Hello? What's going on? I think I may have killed VS Code. It is apparently going crazy and doesn't quite know what to do about this. The window is no longer responding. Oh, please don't make me... Well, points awarded for it at least trying to recover. Extra points if you remember all my stuff. Nope, this is not a WSL file. Oh. Oh, sad day. Okay, here we go again. So, set of all characters that do not include a colon. Any number of repetitions, or at least one repetition, right? Then we're going to pick up colon. Then we're going to pick up white space, any number of repetitions. We're going to pick up the quote. We're going to pick up the pound. And then we're going to do, let's see, we said this was the set of all things that were, let's see, 0 through 9, A through F, exactly 2 repetitions. And then we were going to do this. Let's see, the alpha channel we said was optional. And then RGB. This becomes set color. Let's see, $1. Color from ARGB. I may just grab this again. Copy. Paste. This becomes $2. $3. $4. And $5. And this guy here we had picking up closing quote and optional comma and replace. So that gets us pretty close. Let's go undo one more time because I'm noticing I missed a closing paren and a semicolon. Replace, and that gets it pretty darn close. See that? Regex for the win. Okay, so this guy here, I believe light was on top, if I remember correctly. Because, yeah, dark is, yeah. This is light on top. And we get something like this. Paste. Auto format. Okay. Now we just have to deal with this one. So let's see here. This guy here is the same as gray 2. So I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to copy this guy. I think I may just duplicate this guy over with the different key. See, and this is the thing. The regex doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to save me enough time to be worth it. And I think that it did. Because having to type all of these individually and make sure I didn't make a mistake, regex is worthwhile learning, especially for some of these fancy ones. Now there are people who know tools like VI, and I've seen some absolutely amazing finger contraptions that do ridiculous things that should never work, but yet they do. So, to those of you who know VI, hats off to you. You are better than myself. I have never learned it. I probably should because it looks really, really cool. Or I should say, it looks really cool when you can pull off those amazing edits. Okay, so that handles base theming. Great. Okay, So that handles all of that. That was a lot of theming library stuff. Let's take a look at the other ones. So that was just all of these base ones. And now what we need is a list of the brushes, because this just embeds the colors from both of these. And you'll notice it's got, for each of these colors, it looks like they've basically got, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brushes. So an accent base, accent 2, 3, 4, and a highlight. And then, rinse, repeat across all of these. So I'm guessing when we look at their template, this guy here, so these are all of the brushes and colors that need to go in. So first of all, I can say for certain that these are the accent colors. So we should probably break up each of these into each of these. So some of these we're not going to need to do because the other ones already handled it for us. So we've already taken care of all of the base colors. We've taken care of these guys. These guys we will need to add. Those ones aren't bad. Let's see. So let's just start bringing these guys over. So I'm going to take this template guy and once again dock him to the side. I'm sorry for hiding it where people can't see it. Okay, so let's do this guy. So back over, wrong project. This guy. So that set the base theme. Let's just collapse this for the moment. Let's see. Private static void set metadata. Resource dictionary. Source dictionary. Trying to decide. I don't know what we're going to pass yet. So the key things that we need to pass in are these guys. And I don't think the showcase brush is going to be something. I think that's going to have to move because that's going to need to live somewhere slightly different. But for some of these, it should be simple. So source dictionary. Let's see here. So we need theme.name. For now, empty string will work. Source dictionary, we need theme display name. Again, for now, empty string will work. Source dictionary. Let's see, theme base color scheme. It's also a string. I'm guessing that's light dark. So I'm thinking with some of these, we're probably going to break them up and set them in the appropriate other ones. Like this base color scheme, I think I'm going to be setting down here. Let's see. Theme color scheme. Okay, so let's figure out where these themes come from. So theme name comes from these. So that we'll come back to because both of those are I believe are going to have to come when we set up the color brushes. Let's see, base color scheme. So base color scheme. So I'm assuming this is light dark. So let's come over here and base color scheme. We're going to move you out. So you come over here. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to abuse the fact that I'm pretty sure this works because light, dark, or inherit. And if we pass through the inherit, that's probably okay. I've got apparently a mismatch on my naming here. So let's just fix these. Paste. Paste. Because this method's probably going away. So come back to it, and this one's going to get set elsewhere. Okay? Next set of stuff. Theme showcase brush. That's going to have to come with the color theming stuff. So let's look at these. So this is going to be resource dictionary, set brush, and we've got theme showcase brush. So this is really where we're going to have to make some decisions about how we want to map this stuff. So they're using their colors accent base, because again, remember, they've basically got just these brushes, right? These are the key ones. So, or I should say, these are the key colors. So we need to set those up accordingly. Paste. Okay, so those are the colors, and so they're using accent base. And let's actually do this. Let's break out this set color into a pull you out, migrate you up, and we're just gonna do this. Private static this resource dictionary something more akin to that. I'm not sure how much value this adds, but we'll see. And then we can just block edit all of this to be resource dictionary dot. Same thing here. Boom. Source. Part of me wants to regex this out of an extension method, but we'll get to that in a minute. Don't know. There's not an autocode for inline method, is there? No. But we can certainly use expression-bodied members. Okay. So that gets us into there with the color view. Okay, back to where we started. So we have to basically map something in our theme into each of these. And this is where it's going to get a little weird because they've got 4 levels of accents. We don't. We've got 3 levels of primary, and they don't. So this is where there's going to be a little bit of a mismatch here, and I'm not entirely sure the appropriate mapping. So if people have a strong opinion about what this should be, please tell me. Kind of wondering if this should be a set brush. And I'm kind of wondering if these set brushes should be if there's any reason why these can't be a because this sets color because this actually theoretically changes it too. Right. So set color. Let's do accent base. I think is probably pretty easy. Because this becomes theme. Sorry. Secondary mid color, right? And that also means that the showcase brush, which was the accent base, gets set the same. So this becomes resource dictionary set brush, and let's grab that showcase brush down here, bring him up. Oh, I guess I had it right below me. Let's see, new solid color brush. Let's see, theme, secondary mid, color. Okay, so there's that. So that handles the showcase brush. So let's get rid of you. Base color scheme, you're done. Just got those three to deal with. Okay, so accent base is fine. We need to deal with the other ones now. So I'm actually wondering if this should be secondary dark, because this documentation here that shows 80%, 60%, 40%, and 20%, we don't have those levels. So I'm wondering if base should be dark and then work our way down. Blah, blah, blah. So this would then become dark. I think I would still leave the showcase brush as the mid. I think let's do accent as mid, because again, we're not going to have direct correlations here, and so I think this is probably, and then do 3 and 4 as light, maybe. So this becomes 3, and this becomes 4, and then so this becomes light, like that. Maybe, I guess. And then we've got the highlight color, so we've got to set that. And so the highlight gets, let's see here, primary mid. All right, so that handles all the basic colors. Okay, we've already done, so here I'll bring this guy back over here for a moment. So this is then all of the base colors, which we've already done. Those are already populated. These guys, the common core colors, we're going to need to do. I think we did colors fly out. Let's just double check that down below. Yep, that one's handled. Okay, so this guy here, paste. Okay, so copy, paste, and let's see here. So these ones I think we're just hard coding, I guess, because they're hard coded in MahApps. So no point in thinking too hard on it. Again, I'm open to suggestions if people have strong opinions on what these should be. Let's see, 0x87, 0x87, 0x87. Let's see here. 1, 2, boom, boom, boom. Let's see, so this becomes 2, 3, and 4. Let's see, this becomes 9, 5, 9, 5, and 9, 5. And this becomes 4C, 0, 0, 0. Let's double up the zeros just to make things line up nicely vertically. No other reason. 0, 0, 0, and this is, oh, interesting. So these are identical. Okay, so that handles those guys. Clear that out. Clear that out. Okay, so that handles that. Starting here. Let's come back in. And so now we get into the more interesting use case. And now that we've got all of those other colors that are set, there's all of these brushes. And I'm kind of thinking this is a great regex opportunity. Because I don't want to think too hard on this. Those ones are hard-coded. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking I don't want to. Because all of these guys in here. And again, regex doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be close enough, and then we can hand edit the rest of them. Okay, so copy, back into our VS Code, paste. And we're just going to start at the top. And we might edit these. Apparently I didn't grab it all. We might do these things in blocks. So start with the first thing. So let's see, start of line, white space, any number of repetitions, replace with empty string. All right, so we'll just unindent the universe real quick. Okay, and so then what do we want? So given all of these, like let's just pick on the first one, right? So we've got this guy. What we really want to do is something like, there's the line, but it's going to end up being resource, dictionary, set brush. We're going to need the key, because that's important, right? Boom, grab the key, and then for the color, because set brush, we've got two overloads, one that takes a color. I think what we can do is just this, right? So we can do color, and then we can actually pull it out of the resource dictionary using this key, right? Because we keyed it in previously. Poof. Done. So I think that's the key thing that we want to do, is we basically just want to extract out, we want to turn this solid color brush thing into something that looks more akin to this, right? Okay, I'm going to dock this to the side again so I can just keep it where I can see it, and here we go. So let's see, we're going to match on, actually we can probably cheat, we can probably do X key equals quote, and then we'll do capture set. So grab me any character that's not a quote, at least one repetition, something that looks like that. Close the quote. All right, so now everything inside of this parentheses is going to be everything inside of these quotes, which is what we're looking for. And then what I need is this over here. So we're going to just do any character, any number of repetitions. But then we're going to go until we hit color equals quote doom. Oh, we got to escape the curly brace, static resource, white space, any number, and I mean so we don't have to do that. We could just do space. These things are formatable. We'll just do space. Let's see, static resource, and then let's see, any character, at least one repetition. Well, no, we need a capture group. because we want to do the set of all characters that are not closing curly brace, right? And we want lots, right? And then we'll do actually we can just do to the end of the line, right? Then at the beginning we can do boom, like that. Okay, so now the question comes, so this will work for some of these. It won't pick up all of them, but that's okay. That gets us close. So we're going to do resource dictionary set brush, and we're going to do $1. We didn't pick up the quotes before, so we got to do this because the quotes are outside of our capture group because they're outside the parens. So we'll put that in quotes. We need to cast the thing to a color, and we do resource dictionary extract out the thing by key. Once again, we didn't pick up the quotes because the static resource won't have them, but capture group 2, and then close paren, semicolon. Let me just double check to make sure that that's right. Yeah, so replace, and let's see, does that look right? Resource dictionary set brush, grab the thing, color dictionary. Great. Okay, so that handles some of them. Let's see here. So let's do another one. So this guy here, rather than color get static resource, we're going to have, let's just get rid of all this stuff here. So this is going to become color equals pound, and then Oh, I'm realizing I made a mistake on my other one because I allowed the alpha channel to be optional. Let's go back and look at the code real quick. I think that bit me on alpha channel stuff because that would have meant that we might have to go through and spot check some of these because I'm thinking that means that I matched on the wrong capture group. We'll come back and double check it. I think that probably bit me. Okay, but we'll come back. So let's see. So color, pound, capture group, and it looks like, so we're going to do these in 2 sets. So once again, we're going to do the same set of 0 through 9, A through F, so hex, exactly 2, and we're going to repeat this set 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did that not work? So how many sets of these do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've already got 4 in there. So I'm already matching on 4. Okay? So that picks up all of those. So let's now replace these. So these now are going to be resource dictionary set brush, $, and this is going to be color from ARGB, and then this will be, let's see, 0x $2, 0x $3, 0x $4, and 0x $5. So replace, spot check, it looks fine. And then I think, since we just did the set of all items that contain 4, we should be able to now say, do all the ones that contain 3. and this becomes from RGB, and then we just drop this set. And I think this is what I should have done on the last one that I messed up on. So we'll just have to spot check those other ones and find all the ones that only have 3. So let's see here. So that picks up those. Okay. Let's see here. I think I might just end up manually doing these. We might pretty these up. So this guy here, or some of these other ones. So let's see here. So why did this one? Oh, this one's double curly braced. Did the original not have 2 curly braces? Let's see. So these ones were, oh, these are static resources. These are variable replacements. MahApps colors slider value disabled. So the question then comes, where do these double curly brace values come from? Is this buried in here somewhere? So these ones are also still embedded as colors. So that's fine. Okay. So we can go, wish I'd saved my other regex, but whatever. Okay, so let's see. We've got the key again. I've got color, and then I'm going to just clear that back off again. So I'm looking for ding ding, or I'm sorry, we've got to escape both of these. So pick up both of those curly braces. Let's see, find the set of all items that are not closing ticks. I think that gets it pretty close, and this ends up being very similar again. Let's see here. Because it's color, it's going to be resource dictionary. Let's see, quote, quote, $2. Replace. Oop, nope. Undo. Let's see. $2, but this needs to capture. Let's see, where's the capture group end? There. Needs to be the set of all characters. Not just one. Okay. Let's see. What did we end up matching? So this needs to get rid of that for the moment. Oh, plus is on the wrong side of the paren. There we go. So we get something more akin to that. That picks up all of those. Great. We've got some gradient stops and linear gradient brushes. Might do those ones by hand. This one here. Might just convert that by hand. I think this is probably pretty good. Yeah, it's close enough. We'll do the rest of it by hand. Okay, so again, the regex doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to not suck and make my life a little bit easier. Okay, so back up here, we are going to place all of these guys out. I'm going to leave that top one just for the moment. Paste. Okay, so that gets pretty close. Yeah, so control background, this guy should match. Great, that guy's done. Format, see how close it gets. So let's start just working our way down, picking out these guys. Oh, is this right? MahApps, oh, brushes versus colors. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, so the linear gradient brush. So resource, dictionary, set brush. This one we're just gonna do this one by hand. Boom, and so this gets new linear gradient brush. Okay, I'm trying to remember the overloads. Start color, end color. I think we just go with this. New gradient stop. Or actually, let's see here. Start point gets new point of 0.5 to 0. And let's do this in the interest of my sanity. Let's just comment out that bit of code. Same with here. We're just going to comment this out just so that the rest of the code formatting works. And I'm going to come back and address those individually. Same thing here. We're just going to comment it out. That's probably worth keeping. Unused. If these are unused, are they worth having? Don't know. Don't know. And so we're just going to keep some of these. Again, I'm just trying to get the code formatting to work correctly so that I can then just come back through each of these comments and deal with them one at a time. There we go. And this guy here. Let's see here. Come down here. Another comment. I think this gets really, really close. Again, part of me wants to script this so that if and when there are changes to this, it doesn't cause me to have to redo all these regexes. But for now, I'm just interested in getting it working. Okay, so start point. Let's see here. We need endpoint gets new point 0.5 to 1. Great. And then let's see. Gradient stops gets new, and I think I can just do this now. Right? Right? You're okay with that? Let's see. Gradient stops. You're probably just unhappy because I'm guessing a gradient stop requires, let's see, so it's going to need a color, which we'll just pull out from here. So color, resource dictionary with that key. And then from that color, it also needs an offset, which is 0. Okay, what are you squawking about? Oh, gradient stop collection. There. Okay, and let's see, new gradient stop, and this is going to be very similar to this. Paste. When in doubt, just a little bit of editor inheritance. Copy. We want this key here, and we want the offset to be 1. Okay, 1 linear gradient brush down. Let's do another one. There's this one. This. So MahApps brushes progress. Boom. It is worth noting that the material design spec really abhors linear gradient brushes. So there's a reasonable argument to be made that these should be swapped out for solid color brushes. And there's a bit of a, I guess, contentious point where 1.002 to 5. That's an interesting number. Where I can see an argument to be made for having these things be linear gradient brushes so that they better match MahApps, or having them be solid color brushes so that they better match the material design spec. So if anyone has strong opinions as to which one they should be, I am open to entertaining pull requests and issues and discussion on it, because I don't know the right answer. I don't know if there's going to be one right answer, but I would like to hear people's opinions on them. Let's see here. So something like that. Okay, so let's see here. So this is just a resource dictionary set brush, and this one here is just hard coded to white. That's fine. So colors white. Boom. Okay. Let's see, we'll just leave these comments in place for now. At a minimum, they give me a nice anchor point for going back through the template at a later point. Let's see here. So this is, let's see, resource dictionary set brush. And this guy here, fix that, colors white. Clean this up because we don't need the XML comment style in here. Let's see, there, boom, boom, boom. And let's see, clean you up. Not sure that comment adds any value. Let's see, so this is going to be resource dictionary set color. I'm wondering if this set color really adds much. Let's see. Wait, so this is setting a key. MahApps colors menu shadow. MahApps colors menu shadow. We don't need this. We've already added it to the resource dictionary. Same with this one, ideal foreground. Okay, those are added. Done. No thinking involved. Let's see, data grid ones. Let's see. Resource dictionary set brush. And it is worth noting that even though that these brushes are hard-coded at the application.xaml layer, it doesn't mean that something lower down doesn't override them, because I'm guessing most of these brushes are probably resolved with dynamic resource, which means if you declare something in your resource dictionary at a closer level to the element, your color will get resolved. So even though some of these things look hard-coded, it is you can think of them like virtual members where you can override them, and you can do the same thing. Okay, so then there's all this, all this, all this, all this, and yeah, that's a lot of resources. A lot of resources. Let's see if it works. Because if all of this just works, that would be awesome. Oh, invalid number. Oh, ha ha ha. See? I thought these were going to bite me. But fortunately, that makes it very easy for us to track down, because now we've got compiler errors. So these are just RGB, not ARGB. Let's see, so RGB. That worked out rather nicely. Now I don't have to hunt all of them. The compiler will just find them for me. Perfect. Would have been better if I had converted them appropriately the first time, but oh well. Live and learn. Again, the Regex is just there to speed you up, not to be a coding tool. So don't code with Regex. There's a old saying that the programmer solves a problem with Regex, and now he has two problems. I think that, yeah, and then we can whack this method too, I guess, because we never did do those metadata values. We'll have to deal with that. Because I'm not entirely sure how to object reference not set to the instance of an object. Okay, stop. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. I get it. So let's deal with those metadata ones. Where did that file go? So we've got these string values up here. Name, display name, and color scheme. Those guys. We got to set those to something. Well, some of these are probably easy. So let's just do this again. Well, now that we have the theme, I think we can do resource dictionary theme.name gets theme dot. I thought there was a. Is there a name? Clearly not. These are all just color properties. I mean so we're just gonna empty string it is. Because I'd hate for something to rely on these and then I'm somewhat tempted to hard code these in to just be something like material design or something, but I would hate I'd hate to do that and then have somebody actually build something based upon that string. At least empty string is just useful enough to not blow up. Let's see, so F9, F5. We're going to check and see, make sure we get all the way through this without blowing up. Because again, I do like this naming style for brushes. I don't know if it would work for the material design stuff as well, but I do very much like this, having the separation like this, almost name spacing them. Okay, so we're just going to kind of step fast. I'm not actually interested in seeing this. I'm mostly just interested in seeing if this thing throws, because it threw a no reference last time, which means I've probably done something stupid in here somewhere, but for the most part I'm just looking to see the last executed line. There's not a lot of opportunities for this to break, given all of the setup in here. Whoa. So one of these guys probably there broke, which means I'm guessing something I thought was set is not set. It means we went to pull something out and it wasn't there. We'll see what's going on here. I would have thought that would have been part of the generator parameters, but it could have not been. Let's see, colors ideal. Is that so ideal foreground. Oh, we missed it. So default values, ideal foreground. So let's just hunt this guy around. So different ones in here have different ideal foregrounds. So most of the time it's white. And given that we don't necessarily know yeah, I'm thinking what we do here is we don't use this. So I think rather than leveraging this, I think we're going to just ditch this so resource dictionary set color, because we weren't setting it before, and just in case something is actually using a reference to this color, which seems plausible, we're going to set this here, and we're going to do theme primary mid foreground. All right, and then we'll do the same thing here. Let's see, theme primary mid. Oh, not. So we want to get foreground color. So the key thing here is foreground color may not be set, and if it's not explicitly set, it'll look up whether it should be white or black based upon the HSV brightness level of the background color. Let's try that. That's the only one from this thing that looks like it, so we're just going to run again. We might get past it. This way, rather than having hard-coded ones for white and dark. Given that it's already 11 p.m. for me, I don't know if this is actually going to get going, but I think what will probably happen is that at minimum I'm going to at least get a pull request going. Just so I have something in progress, and if anybody wants to pick it up and run with it, feel free to branch off of mine and go crazy. I think this is probably close. Maybe. Oh, we got more problems. So this one's not set. Okay, so we gotta deal with some stuff. So I'm gonna get this checked in, fix MahApps, and stage all changes. More work setting up MahApp brushes. Okay. Commit changes, and let's see, what is the upstream of this? Set upstream, sure, origin will work. Submit, and great. Let's go and we're going to open up at least a draft PR. Again, if somebody wants to pick this up and run with it, I would encourage you to do so. Let's see, new pull request. A little surprised it didn't prompt me, but apparently it hasn't finished pushing. It claims it pushed. Let's try that again. Push successfully. Okay, you claim to have pushed. There we go. Compare and pull request. Integration. starting work on getting MahApps functioning with the 3.0 stuff. Let's see, renamed text, or let's see, data grid, text column to match the renaming of the combo box column. Is there anything else we did? Was there anything else? Was that it? Let's see here. Yeah, everything else was related to the theme stuff. I guess we can technically say updated MahApps demo application with data grid styles. So let's see, this guy's going to end up in 3.0. Create a draft pull request. This is a work in progress. Anyone is free to up and continue with it. So if anybody wants to, let's see, MahApps, and where's, did I get rid of my up for grabs? Or no, up for grabs starts with you. So draft pull request. Okay, so there is that, and we are well on our way to having MahApps integration. And so if anybody would like to pick that up, go ahead and comment on here, and you are free to do so. If not, I will hopefully get to it. I am booked up the next several days. I know I've got a bunch of stuff going on that I need to do, but my plan is to try to push hard on this 3.0 release and get stuff out the door. This is I think the last big feature that's blocking. And then after that, a lot of it's just bug fixes and working through those. So hopefully those will not take too long, and then we will get going on that. So I'm going to sign off for the night. Once again, tell everyone happy coding.